Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. I am your humble host, David Null, also known as Hawkeye Two Feathers, and I greet you with the love and the honor of the infinite creator, and I continue to pray that each and every one of you will accept, receive the healings, um, the gifts, the wisdom, and the knowledge of the universe. Now, with that said, I hope that everybody's doing well, and I continue to send prayers out to everyone. Um, there's been a subject that's been crossing my mind for many years now, and I've been praying for peace. Golly, ever since the 60s as a hippie, I was praying for peace and demonstrating for peace and so forth. And in my lifetime, there have been peaceable moments in the universe, if you will, and there have been peaceable moments in my own life. But I have to, look at the big picture. And so it's like when I look at the big picture, I think to myself, well, there are a lot of us that want peace. But if 10% of us don't get along with it and they want to create a mess, the rest of us end up having to go, I don't say go along with it, we get drug along behind it. And so I have to honestly, I'm still going to pray for peace. I'm still on that message. But I have to also stop and look at it from a standpoint of whether or not that's just a hopium for me that the whole world could attain peace. That might just be out of the realm of humanity because there's so much confusion. Now, again, I'm not trying to be a downer here, but I'm trying to be a realist. So I'm thinking to myself, well, now, like I said in the description, this is a discussion. But in my discussion, even the people who want peace start a war. They say, well, there's this bad guy we got to get rid of. Boom, we take him out, and other people get ticked off, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm talking about. But the idea is, though, that sometimes to be peaceable, we have to do things that are not peaceable. They're dirty, downright, nasty kind of. Blow somebody up with a missile, okay. But to the point, though, but it's supposed to be for peace. Let's kind of keep that in mind. So my idea of peace is like not fighting, stabbing, killing, shooting, harming somebody else. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's what somebody else is thinking. Peace might be that they go out and shoot all their neighbors, or shoot the neighbor's dog, or, well, I want my peace. Now, here's the little trick that I was thinking about earlier today, and I thought I would share it with you. In that it's because of free will. Now, if Creator gave us all free will, that means we can make a choice at any point. Like earlier, like 30 minutes ago, I wasn't going to do a video, and then here I am doing a live stream. So, I like to keep, the powers that be, wondering, well, he's going to do a live stream. No, he ain't. Yes, I am. No, I ain't. Well, ta-da, surprise. But, that just keeps the universe, Hi, Bob. We love you. I got some fresh coffee here. Let me share a little bit of coffee with Bob and anybody. Ian, I see you there. My Sky, how are you? So now I'm like I said, this is not to be a downer, but we have to be a realist about this. So how much peace can we actually get upon this earth? How many people can we convince? Hey, Debbie, how are you? How many people can we convince that peace is like, we can do this? When their own mind, they say, well, I don't know. Peace means to me, blah, 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 blah. It means shooting all the neighbors' dogs. It means, putting all this in, any hippie smoking weed, he's got to go. I mean, what does peace mean? And back in the day, the cops were the peaceable ones, right? Beating up the hippies. And, 4 dead in Ohio at Kent State kind of thing. And it was a peace march, for goodness sakes. So we have a history of talking about peace and meaning the absolute god-awful, the opposite thing. Now, I've spoke about this before about, good intentions. Hey, Michelle, cosmic hugs to all y'all out there. But so I'm kind of restructuring my way of thinking on this, in that I'm still going to pray for world peace. But I got to be a realist and say, maybe I should work on like a group of folk. Like, hey, we here in this little, this league of like-minded beings, we keep peace between us and hope that it spreads, and that it's our peaceable nature will be contagious. But is that actually going to fix it? No. Why? And I had to be really honest about this one too. It's called yin and yang. It's white, it's the light and the dark, it's the white and the black. It's the mirror. It's not necessarily a mirror image, but so if everything was peaceable, I mean, nobody argued, would that be kind of insane in itself? I mean, without any kind of conflict. Now, isn't that peace? Well, but that's peace is that of the observer. So what does peace mean to me? Okay, I can go down the list, blah, blah, blah. But what does peace mean to you, you see? What do we as a collective think of as peace? Well, we round up all the bad guys and put them in a jail. Is that peaceable? I've been in jail. That's a crappy way to live and have to, suffer. But, are we doing humankind good because we take people out, or because we want peace? We're going to lock a certain group up, or we're going to remove other people. How are we going to do this peaceably? So here's the question, and just a hypothetical, but it's being more real than not. There are dark forces out there. Every single one of us knows that. Hey, Dominic, blessings to you too as well. Brandy, hi, how are you? Blessings. But this discussion is not about how, oh crap, we're not going to make it. That's not my point about this. My point is that in being realistic, can the entire planet actually become peaceable? Is that really possible? There must be conflict between somebody. I mean, you got the bigger piece of cake, you got I don't know, people are going to argue about stuff, because they feel with their own free will that their right is over mine or yours. Well, I think that this is the way it should be, therefore I'm going to do it, and to hell with you. This is because I have free will. You have free will. We have free will. So, but that's going to create sort of a conflict, if you will. And that's not necessarily peaceable. You follow me? Now, so can peace actually be attained? I got to stop and say, well, I don't know. I think we could be more peaceable. I absolutely think that. But with the balance of nature, I mean, we're in wintertime now in the northern hemisphere. It's warm as crap outside. It's like 82. It was 82 degrees this afternoon here in South Georgia. In January, I think it tied, or at least broke a record. But to the point about this, though, is that we can have peace within ourselves. That is attainable. So we have to think. I've been thinking way too globally. Of course, I'm not going to be able to stop thinking that. But I have to start thinking more locally, in that, well, the more peace I have within myself, the more peace I can share with others. But if I don't have peace within myself, then how can I share peace with others? Because I'm not at peace with myself. You know what I mean? I mean, so there's this give and take in the universe, if you will. Now, with my own free will, I can choose to do good or choose to do bad. I choose to try to do good as much as possible, whenever possible. So, having discussions like this is, I can't get out and meet people like I used to do, but I can come on here and we can have discussions, and y'all can hang out and we can share this peaceable time together, you see. So how do I fit into this? How do we all fit into this? It is our frame of thought. It is our intentions every day. And I'm not saying give up. I'm just saying maybe instead of praying for the world peace, we pray for a city full of peace, or, I don't know, something that's more attainable. Now, I do think that, world peace could be attained, but you know what it's going to have to take? Lack of free will. Somebody's going to have to make some rules. Somebody's going to have to say, you can't do that. You can do this and this and this, but you can't do that. But what if you do? What if you cross that line? Then some peace officer, if you will, is supposed to come and take you in to make sure that you're going to be a peaceable person. Isn't that what it's supposed to be about? Think about it. So, having been arrested many times by, quote, peace officers, or beat the crap out of me, and throw me in a jail cell, without my medicine or anything like that. And then they go, well, you deserve it. That's the peace officers. So I have to stop and think, well, wait a minute. If that's the peace officers, then who are the bad guys? You know what I'm saying? Somehow this peace has turned around to where, phone call. Don't know. Sorry. Turn off the ringer. Call him back. So I'm really, I don't want to be, I'm not trying to be Davy Downer here, okay? But we have to honestly look at things and go, well, wait a minute now. So my point about this, and I'm not quite sure if I really have a true angle or path or something, but maybe some of the peace, I'm still going to pray for world peace. Don't get me wrong about that. That's still like going to be there. But is there something else that I can work on locally that's more peaceable? And people that we meet do this kind of thing and spread that peace around. Now, I do see and have seen a change in many people along the way. Hello, Dominic. Harry, how are you? Meow. Debbie, Brandy, Ultraviolet Flame. Blessings to all of you. So I still want to keep praying for peace. But at the same point, like, many of us, I myself have gotten a little disgruntled, quite frankly. Let's just call it like it is, pissed off. Hey, Jody, how are you? Blessings to you all. In that sometimes I feel like I'm praying for these things and I'm just peeing in the wind. You know what I mean? It's not doing any good. Nobody's listening. Nobody's paying attention. Ain't nobody getting this thing, and they keep fighting amongst each other. I mean, I have family members that are, at each other's throats. And I'm like, you weren't raised this way, but you can't get through to them. They're stuck in their own little world somewhere. And any attempt to try to, I tried to claw my way in. I mean, literally, like, hey, let me in. And it was like, okay, I'm going to back up and try another way. There is no way to get in. They have a certain mindset. Don't know where they got it from, but they got it and they're stuck in it. So now I keep praying, but man, the stuff that I hear back out is like, holy crap. And this is a relative of mine. Wait a minute, am I going to have any luck with this? With all the prayers and everything and holy crap. And, and then, and they're spewing some not so nice stuff. And I'm like, wait, stop. Oh, hang on. Oh, please. Gee, Christmas. I can't even achieve a certain peace within. Now it's extended family and stuff, but there's not peace within this group. And I look at it as like, it's just personal observations. It's also old grudges that they can't get rid of. Well, 20 years ago, you pissed me off. Sorry about that, but this is 20 years later. Can we like drag this forward? And what, I'll forgive you if you'll forgive me. Let's shake hands and start over, especially a family member. But the fact that grudges and resentments and, you know how long the list can be. But the idea, though, that, can we have actually attain world peace? I got to scratch my head and go, I still hope so. But maybe we should really focus on I say local, people that people that you meet, family members, whether extended or, related. And sometimes most of my extended family are much nicer than some of my own relatives, I hate to say it. But it's true. You folks have been much more kind and worry about me more than some of my own family members. So not to cut my family members down, but, I said some of my family members. So those of you out there who call me family members, I love you. I do. But there are some that me, I don't name names, but the idea, though, that can we bring peace between us and will that spread? My heart is still in it. But in the grand scheme of things, so the Iranians are gone and they quit fighting. Somebody else is going to get pissed off. I mean, are we going to get rid of the Mexican cartel? Are we going to get rid of the drug? There's always going to be somebody, because of free will, that are going to make our lives miserable, because it's the good versus the bad. It's the white and the black. Now, my suggestion is, okay, so maybe there's a little bit of tax evasion or some fraud, and you could say, well, that's on the dark side. But maybe we can knock it down to where it ain't shooting, killing, poisoning, raping, eating other people. Maybe we can still have arguments. Arguments and debate is a good thing. It's how you learn and churn and get things out and things settled between peoples and nations and planets, let's say. But if we're all going to say, well, I'm right and you're wrong, my piece is my idea and yours sucks. Wait a minute. We all have to join this league of like-minded beings. We have to at least attest to that. Now, do I have a solution? No, I don't. Except that I refuse to give up. That's my solution. Is I refuse to give up the prayers. There have been, the other day I was like, man, yesterday was a really rough day for me. Not going to go into it, but I'm dealing with some pleurisy and some other issues, and yesterday was just tough for me. But in that, I had time to reflect on things, and I was like, this idea of peace among peoples and races and nations and stuff. How about just being nice to your dadgum neighbor or some of your own family members? I mean, this doesn't have to go out far, So if we can work on those things that are nearest to us versus me worrying about Iran, for example, or those people over there, I send my prayers out to any and every being that wishes peace. I subscribe to the one rule: do no harm. Because if you consider do no harm to any being, anything, boy, howdy, it encompasses everything. You don't need 10 commandments. You only need one. It fits it all. But even in that, the bad guys, the good guys sometimes have to do bad things. Like, okay, let's bomb a certain person, get rid of them. They're evil, wicked, mean, and nasty. But that's your opinion. That's their opinion. So now I don't know the person. I wasn't aware of it, but do I actually want to destroy another human being because I don't agree with them or because they've done bad things? Is that a peaceable solution to anything? Well, wait a minute. I'm going to prove I mean business. Boom. And they shoot a gun at you. Is that any way to make peace with anybody? There's this other side of the coin. Now, I'm not trying to be, this is not about a political thing. This is strictly about good, bad. Sometimes the good guys got to do something bad. I mean, we had to go to war against Hitler, right? Bad guy, we had to do bad things. We bombed innocent people. We did this, we did that, to take out the bad guys. So in order to achieve peace. So we have to make war to make peace. Isn't this sort of convoluted? Doesn't it put us in this chaotic, repetitious, here we go again? Now, one thing that I want to, you probably may already know this. If not, I will, share it with you as I was going to anyway. But what you can do is find peace within yourself. Whether anybody else on the planet, your neighbors, your relatives, your best friend, even your loved one, your partner, mate, if you have peace within yourself, you can't ask for anything more. Why? Because it's hard to maintain that peace within yourself. Hey, Lori, Melanie, I think I said hi already. Michelle, Dominic, Gerald, make sure I catch everybody. Blessings to all of you. So, but the thing that will give us all strength in these days to come is being strong with ourselves and making sure that our peace is at peace and that those people we come in contact with, like I said, I'm still gonna pray for world peace. But I'm going to make sure that my peace is centered. It's hard sometimes to maintain that, especially with all these energies going up and down. I checked about an hour or so ago, and the Schumann resonance is going wacko again. So, hey, are you feeling out of sorts and a little weird? Raise your hand. But anyway, about this idea of peace. Now, please, we all should still pray for world peace. But at the same point, we should not be disappointed if it doesn't happen. Why? Because there are 7 billion souls on this planet, plus or minus, with free will. And they've all got their own opinion. So we have to take that into consideration. So before we get all bucked up and our feathers ruffled, we need to say, well, I see you have an opinion. That's yours. If we stop an argument, we were having a conversation the other day. I think I said this in a video, where this person was telling me, well, I keep having this argument. And it's like, if you keep having the argument, then you haven't learned anything. Because if you don't argue with the other person, if you shut up and go, well, okay, and let it dry up, there can be no argument. There can only be hollering from one side. But if you lose your own patience and lose your own peace within yourself, and you get tied up into the argument, then guess what? You both lost. Oh, shame. Because then that's all this negative energy that went for naught. Because neither one of you could stop long enough to hold the peace within you. You had to express yourself in some kind of outward fashion. And it was anger, it was lash out, it's stress, it's whatever it is. And it's like, so wait a minute, can you hold that peace within you in stressful moments? Well, but what the hell does that matter, Hawkeye? Well, because if you're praying for world peace, you can't even do it within yourself. How can, so you're sending out this energy for world peace when you really, maybe if you become more peaceable, the world will hear it. What? Yeah, ain't that far out. But to the point, though, the more you have peace within you. I watched a documentary about Father Padre Pio, and he died in 1968. And he was a Catholic Saint Franciscan, lived in Italy, and he had stigmata on his hands and on his chest and on his feet. And I learned about Padre Pio after I left the Catholic Church, and then read this book about him and learned some about his life. And I thought, here is this man that spent his entire life, even as a child, in prayer, saying the rosary. Now, he was raised Catholic in Italy, blah, blah. Okay. Now I left the Catholic Church because of, if you watch my old videos, you'll know the priesties and stuff. But anyway, but going on with that, he never lost his faith for 50 years or 60 years. He was an old man when he passed away, but for over 50 years, he kept his faith with the stigmata and the pain and the suffering and everything because of his faith. And the Pope, even Pope Paul VI or something like that back in the 60s, even wrote a letter after his demise and said that, or before he passed away, in that why were so many people flocking to Padre Pio, going to southern Italy, when the papacy was going, he ain't no saint, he's nothing special. But he was, because he was a humble man, a humble servant of God, and people picked up on that. They picked up on the fact that he was a peaceable person, regardless of his turmoil, regardless of his age or his ailments. He maintained his faith in his Creator. Wow. Now, we can't all sit in a cubicle and pray and meditate all the time, but that was his choice. Now with that, I took and what I'd learned of Padre Pio over the years, I watched this documentary last night, and it really got my little old tiny brain to like clicking around. And it's like, in his humility, millions of people came to southern Italy now over the years to visit just to see this man because he was humble before the Lord. Nothing else special. Now, there are reports of people who touched Padre Pio and were healed. There's a lot of folks, that's just BS. But the people who were healed by him or through him were healed by their faith, if you will. Now, and he never took any credit for any kind of healing. He said, I don't want none of that. No, 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 no. He tried to stick with the strict mantra of St. Francis of Assisi. And in that, helping the poor, children, that was his job. And I relate to that in as much as I can in my tiny little world. Hello, Divine Living. Scratch, how are you? Brandy, Dominic, Ultraviolet, I think I got everybody. So this idea, though, that he brought peace simply by his presence. All he did was say Mass. He said confession for all the day. Sometimes he would spend 18 hours in a confessional, confined in a little box, listening to people's crap. Can you imagine? And so, but he did it diligently as a representative of Jesus and of God on earth. Now, I'm not trying to, proselytize of Catholicism or anything like that. Anyway, but to the point, though, but it is about faith. It is about faith in yourself, faith in your Creator. And here's one of the things: Padre Pio, till he died, never had enough faith. He said, "Lord, I'm just a vessel. How can I be good enough to do any of this?" And so all his life he questioned, am I good enough to do your work? And one of the things I had to realize when I had my big Mother Mary incident several years back, I realized that it doesn't matter whether or not I think I can make a difference. It's whether or not someone like you all out there, and you have proved to me that having these discussions makes a difference. And so that is my faith. You are my faith. You are the folks who bring the faith to me, because it's like Padre Pio. He just spoke to the crowds. If it was one person, 10 people, or 10,000. So my job is to, as I try to be a humble person, and in that everybody deserves a chance. Everyone deserves of course. Now, sometimes we just have to, let those folks who, are really way out there from us. I mean, like hurtful, painful, evil, wicked, mean, bad, nasty, Sometimes we just have to push them aside because they affect our own selves. So how do we get out of this? We keep up what we're doing. Of all the things that I've learned, even with myself, if I lose faith in myself, whether or not I can make it down the river and back, I'm going to get stranded. If I lose faith in my paddling abilities, now I know I'm using a kayak experience, but it's true. If I lose faith in my own skills as a person, then what good am I if I don't have enough faith in myself? How can I help anyone in any situation? I can't, because I'm already floundering in my own goo. So at times I have to take control of my own self and go, I got to go paddle for a couple of hours to prove that I still have it, that I still have the gumption, that I still got it. You know what I mean? So spiritually, all that we can do is keep working with each other. You all in the chat room, and Milky Way Weekly, and all the folks, and with Dante and all these other groups that really try to bring people together and hold them together versus piss people off and make them go away. Trolls are welcome if you mind your own, if you mind your manners. You don't have to believe what we believe, but, be civil about it. I can't go with the flat earth thing, I just can't. But those folks that are doing it, go right on ahead. I refuse to argue with you guys. Not because I think I'm right. I just think it's futile to argue over it. That's all. You guys believe what you do, and I'm sort of set in my ways. Now, they could be right. Who knows? But what if I'm still right? What if the rest of us who don't believe in the flat earth, what if we're still right? You know what I mean? So, but it doesn't, Uh, I argued about it years ago. I don't argue about it anymore because that's a useless argument. Seriously, it's a useless argument. Go out and watch the stars. What you believe is important. Well, I don't know. These people on YouTube told me about this, that, and the other thing. They're swaying you. Go outside and observe the world for yourself. Observe nature. Watch the stars. Watch where the sun comes up and the moon comes up and what time. People were freaking out about they saw the moon during the daytime. The moon's is in the morning, afternoon for half of its cycle. Duh, 28 days, so 14 days, it rises in the morning. You just can't see it till the sun goes down, except in the wintertime when the skies are more clear. So people are freaking out, oh my God, you can see the moon in the daytime. It's always been that way. Holy criminy Netley. You know what I'm saying? So some of the answers are like right here in front of you, but nobody's looking. They're reading the words, but it's like they pick out a certain word in a paragraph, and that's all that they can focus on. But the idea of peace worldwide, again, I'm going to reiterate. I continue to pray for world peace, but I'm also going to not necessarily deviate my time, but maybe send more attention to some of unrest, I say within my own group, meaning extended family, granddaughter, plural, and see if I can't help them out. And if and up to now, they've refused my help. So it's like, well, okie dokie. Um, just try to give words of wisdom and, look, stay on the right side. We support you. There's a whole family out here. You want to get off of drugs? We support you. But if you're going to keep slipping and going back into it, it's hard for us to keep up with you, But if you are serious about your changes and your choices, we will help you as much as we possibly can. But if you choose, there comes the free will. If you choose the darkness over the light, if you choose the addiction, and trust me, I spent years addicted to shit. So I was on the dark side too much of the time. So, and I would hate to say that my granddaughter has to go through the same thing before she gets it. Now she's using intravenous drugs, and I only did that once. Well, twice, but it was in the same weekend, so I only consider it like one time, one event. And I said, nah, no needles. Now pills, snorting, smoking, dropping, oh boy. So I'm a good one to be able to say, well, you shouldn't do things like that. My point to my children and to my grandchildren are, if you're going to do it, go somewhere safe if you gotta. But for gosh sakes, don't go out on the streets and play in the thingy, and you're gonna get in trouble. Now, I was smart enough to buy this place, so I would come down here and get my crazy on. But, I didn't get thrown in jail from driving through town being intoxicated. Anyway, but you get my point. So I'm trying to say, listen, if you're going to do it, then go someplace. Get out of that town, move to another, do something else. But if you stay in the same situation, so this idea of peace between us, I got to try to bring my granddaughter, try somehow to bring some peace to her, and the other one too. But the one with the drug problem, she's going to the methadone clinic and so forth. So if she's on methadone, she's had some issues. And 24 years old, I think, not very old. So we could say that, listen, I will continue to pray for her, but she's in Connecticut and I'm down here. I'm too poor. I can't actually go do anything. And she can't leave the county, city because of her probation and stuff. So I have to try to just do things at a distance as much as possible. And there are times when I throw my hands up and I go, I don't know what to do, Lord. What am I supposed to do? How do I reach my own grandchildren, and say, listen, there's another way around this. You don't have to keep making these same dead burn fool mistakes all the time. And anyway, you get my, don't want to go on a tirade about that. But so peace within my own family, peace within folks that I know, peace somehow, so it's like My prayers still go out to the universe. That's a given. But I realized maybe I should work a little harder on some closer in things, meaning my granddaughter, if I can get through to her. You know what I mean? But so maybe there's somebody that you can help bring peace to, is the reason I brought this up. And I don't know, all y'all have your own situations. It's okay. But there may be someone who needs just peace. And maybe they just have to holler at you and you not fight back. Sometimes that's what cures things. Go ahead, scream at me. Go ahead, get it out. Tell me what you think, scream, holler, and then when they get it, all that anger and everything out, then they can sit down and have a conversation with you. But you have to be peaceable enough within yourself to take it. Why? Because you can. You're strong enough. And if you wish to be the stronger spiritual person, then you'll just say, let this person vent. Yeah, but they said some mean and bad and nasty things about me. Okay, sticks and stones. Would you rather this person get the anger out and you come back to being friends or family or something? Holler at me. Go ahead, get it out of your system. Because I want to find the peace between us. How about that one? So can we share the peace? Absolutely. By peeing, by peeing? Yeah, we can do that too, when we get our bladders full. But by being peaceable people within our own selves. And so when somebody tries to take that peace from us or something else, is that, sorry, I still am peaceable. I mean, they're nailing Jesus to the cross and he says, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. So he wasn't taking animosity against the guys driving the nails. I would have been pissed at Herod, but, that's another story, or Pontius Pilate, you know what I mean? But to the point, though, that it's like sometimes it just doesn't do any good to bring all that anger up. I mean, I've stopped fights before by simply not fighting. Excuse me, I've gotten decked a couple of times. Thus, some of my brain injury. Duh. But at the same point of view, though, that I've stopped fights simply by refusing to argue back. And that stopped the fight. Okay, you think I'm a quasi muckhead? Okay, I love you too. I want to fight you. Well, you swing at me, I'm gonna do my best to duck. If you kick at me, I'm gonna step aside. But so you can argue with the table or a tree or or the clothesline. I don't care. But once you get your anger out, then we'll sit down and have a chat and go, okay, now what brought this on? That's the peaceable part about this. And I have met some peaceful people in my lifetime that no matter what you did, and they were protected. I mean, if you tried to harm them, they'd put you down. They knew the secret kind of kung fu stuff that it wasn't kung fu, but it was like, holy crap. They just used whoever was attacking them. They just moved it over and off they went. But in these peaceable people, it was realized that I can't really harm them. Even if I kill them, I can't really harm them, which is kind of weird. But so we have to have that kind of peace within us. And I'm going to keep working on it. Every day is a new day. Every day is a new test for each and every one of us. What we make of the day or what we don't make. Yesterday I was down with the pleurisy and my chest was hurting. And man, I was like, if I didn't know better, I'd swear I was having a heart attack, but I know better. I've been on my meds and everything. And today I'm a little better, but I'm weak from yesterday. But I'm not going to be depressed because yesterday was a cruddy day. No, today's better. Thank you. And tomorrow I'm gonna do my exercises when I get off here and take a little walk around the yard, and I'm gonna try to do better tomorrow. So in this discussion within the peace within myself, years ago I would have been depressed about this, but I choose to take baby steps in the right direction. Doesn't matter how big the step is, as long as you know you're going in the right direction. Do you know whether or not you're going in the right direction? Now, you can hit bumps and speed bumps and brick walls sometimes when you're going down the correct path. But sometimes you just have to go, well, here's a gate. I'll go over here and go around it. Or maybe I'm strong enough to climb the gate. Or maybe I do need to take a detour, not to go off the path, but to stay on the path. Sometimes you got to go around a mud hole or something. If you've ever walked cross country or anything, and in Boy Scouts, we did mapping and compassing and all that. And you'd come to a spot and you go, I can't walk through there. So you pick something on the other side, like a lake or a pond, and you walk around the pond to that other side. So you don't walk straight through. Well, how am I going to get there? I got to walk to the lake. No, you don't. You pick a spot on the other side of the lake, mark yourself so your trail's good, and you take the detour around the lake, and then you pick up your trail on the other side. So sometimes we have to do that in life. Sometimes there's a muck hole. Sometimes there's a lake. Sometimes there may be even an ocean. Who knows? It may be time, if you want to get across to the other side, that you build a raft. Who knows? Or you find a boat. There's other ways. But to the point, though, keeping peace within ourselves and being assured of that peace. Continue to have faith, regardless of the circumstance. I know it's tough, but keep the faith, baby. That's how we stay strong. Can we change the world? I see it changing. Are we going to stop the bombing in places and all this stuff? Going to keep working on that. But let's work on the areas that we maybe actually be able to achieve a goal. Somebody close in, somebody that may come our way, and we can bring peace to their life somehow. If just calling them up going, hey, I hope you had a good day. And if not, well, I'll pray for you. I just wanted to tell you I love you, and how, we'll talk at you later. Bye. That might be the spark that helps somebody through a day. That might help bring them peace. Oh my God, somebody's actually thinking about me. Oh my God, somebody actually cares. That goes a long way to bring peace to the people who may need it. So there's lots of different ways we can do this, my friends. But the thing is that, like I said, if you're only praying for world peace and you're not seeing it, you get, ooh, Bob's jumping all around. Hi, Gerald, Michelle, Scratch. Nothing good comes easy, says Michelle. Sometimes it's very difficult. But one of the things that I have learned, and I spoke about this before, but to kind of bring it forward a little bit into this conversation, every day is a different day. So you can have similar situations. So what you do is, instead of something coming at you and you go, holy crap, here's a situation, let your little brain go at it and go, wait a minute, I have faced a similar thing like this before. Now, I say that as an engineer, okay, and as a troubleshooter with machines. And I'd go out and I'd see a machine going up and down, twirly, twirly, blah, blah, blah. And I go, well, I've seen machines like this before. Now, somebody says, well, it's not working right. And I listen for a knock, knock, clack, clank, something like that. Oh, so there's a noise being made. Well, that's sort of, no. But so the idea is, though, that you have peace and you use your knowledge of your years to go, here's a situation I've had. It might not be the same, but it's similar. I hear a knocking. I hear a noise. I haven't heard it on all the other machines. Let's find out what that noise is. Come to find out, the tool's bottoming out, blah, blah, blah. And you fix the situation and they go, wow, you're so amazing. Yeah. Okay. Well, I kept my job for 7 years, so I was pretty good at what my job was. But to the point, though, in that I learned you got to have faith in your own abilities without being narcissistic. Well, I know how to fix that shit. That don't work. They'll toss you out the door in a heartbeat. So when you go at these folks with peace, have peace and love in your heart. Don't tell them you know how to fix it. No, say, can we have a chat? You want to sit down and talk? And we'll just talk about things. And you go, well, I knew a friend, and it could have been you. Well, I knew a friend that faced a similar problem, and, they tried this. Versus you going in and go, look, sit down. I know the answer to this. Listen to me. I'll tell you what to do. No. The help in finding someone else's peace is to help them find it within themselves, not you trying to shove it on them. Well, I know the answer. Help them find the answer. It'll make a lot more sense to them so they can stand up on their own 2 feet spiritually and mentally. And, so like it's the idea, teach a person to fish and they can eat for a lifetime, unless there are no fish, but that's a separate issue. But so in our ideas of what is peace, it's from the observer's point of view. So it's peaceable to me and you and all of you in this in the league of like-minded beings. Ours is very similar, at least. So we could say, yeah, we all agree on this. At least this cone of peace, like the cone of silence from Get Smart. But anyway, the cone of peace. And so it's like, all right, and we want to expand it. We want to, anybody's welcome to join our peaceable, conversations. Sure, we can disagree, but we can be peaceable about it. I'm not saying that we all need to think alike, but we at least need to respect each other's opinions to listen. We don't have to agree with it. We don't have to like it, but we have to respect it. And maybe through our own love and peace, and we go, well, I feel like this about it, versus saying, I think you're wrong. You go, well, I have a different feeling about this, whatever it may be. You slide into it without confrontation. You maintain the peace between you. Even though the other person might really be wanting to argue, you maintain the peace. It's hard to do. Trust me, it's hard to do. It's not easy. And I am always asking for help to maintain that peace within me so that I may share it and not some kind of, well, you're wrong and blah, blah, blah. I really don't want to go there. So I'm always asking for help, always receiving help. And so, this is just one of them, spot on, decided I would talk about this subject this afternoon, and it's good to see you all in the chat room. It very, very, really, truly is. You all are great people. I've seen you in other chat rooms and folks, and you're great. Let's see, Scratch, Extra Healing. What y'all talking about? High Ultra Flame, Humble Knowing, Scratch. I'll have to get some. Wait. Oh, drink baking soda. Let me tell you, Gerald, you brought it up, and I'll bring it up too, and I'll stand behind you on this. Now, I always put a little baking soda in my coffee and some other foods. I'll spread a little in there, But recently, because of a health issue, I started going back to what I used to know and have whatever whacked out reason forgotten. I talked about that in another video. But I started taking a level teaspoon of baking soda and a half a cup of water at least once a day. And the first 2 days I took it, it was like, oh my God, my body went nuts. And I was like tingling and stuff. And I told Breaking Dawn, I said, I don't know what this is, but man, I don't feel bad, but I feel like, and I don't know if it was directly related to the baking soda, but it was right afterwards and for 2 days. Now I've taken the same dosage over the last several days, and like last night's dose didn't feel the same way as it did 4 days ago. And when I get done here, I'll go in and get some more water, and I'll take my dose today because I'm trying to take it about the same time every day. Don't overdo it. Okay. Try some first at a slow time, okay? Something else, and I've talked about it before, Epsom salts, magnesium. We need magnesium in our bodies to help fight. Magnesium fuels damn near everything in our system. And you can take warm water, put your feet in it, and it will be absorbed up through the feet, which if you know about reflexology and the foot and the thing and stuff, there's a lot of truth in that stuff. So, and if you have to, just take a little, little Epsom salts. It's not going to kill you. Or take, like I do, magnesium supplements. Now, supplements. If you get a supplement that has a hard shell on it, break it open. I've talked about this before, but I'll retell this little story. I worked on with a friend of mine who did troubleshooting at wastewater treatment plants. In other words, sewage treatments. Okay. We go up to this one where there's about 150 trailers, and floating on top of this are all these little things bobbing up and down. It was Centrum. It was, I can't remember some of the other vitamins. you could still read the name on the outside of the pill. And it had been through their bowels, down through the sewer system, and into the tank. And all these vitamins are just bobbing around. Why? They're so potent that if they were to actually dissolve in your stomach, most people would get sick. So they put this coating on it. Now, they don't tell you that it's going to pass right through you. They just say, well, if you take this. So people are taking all these vitamins with these really hard shells. All you got to do is break them open. That's all. Break them open. Break them in half. Because then your stomach can get to the goo inside. But I am telling you, I thought it was a joke. But anybody who's ever worked in waste treatment plants will tell you there millions of vitamins are popping up in sewage treatment plants, and they can't get rid of them. I mean, they're even the sewage treatment plant can't digest them, and they're called digesters. So anyway, make sure that whatever you take is soluble. Take a pill, drop it in some water. Does it turn into mush? Hold it in your hand for a minute. And if it starts to get gooey, you're probably okay. If in any doubt, break it open. If it's got a hard shell on it and you can't scratch it off with your fingernail, break it open, or don't take those anymore. That's what I did. I started buying individual vitamins. The multivitamins with the hard shell, no, because if it ever came open in your stomach, you would get sick from the vitamins, and it would upset your stomach. Trust me. Try it yourself. But the thing is but there are other supplements. You can get just magnesium, and they're powder tablets. They're just powder that's stamped, and they crumble in your hand. That's what you want. But make sure you get magnesium. For men, y'all need to be having your zinc. I'm just here to tell you. If you're a guy and you still got your prostate, you better be taking zinc. And I've got my trusty saw palmetto, and magnesium is way up there on the list, along with selenium. So, but anyway, my friends, keep yourselves up to date with your vitamins. That'll help with the peace within you. And so I know I got a little off topic on the last part, but if you're taking any kind of vitamins or anything and you've made it this far in the conversation, just make sure that you know that those vitamins are going in you. Let's see, coconut water. Talk about the feel, the heal. Gerald, I can't do coconut. I not the milk or the water. Can't do it. I love coconut, but whatever they do in the process of the coconut water, I don't like it. Now I've had a whole coconut poked a hole, drained the water out. I'll drink that. But this other stuff, I don't know. But anyway, magnesium, zinc helps with the cold, says Brandy. We're lacking those minerals. Very much so, Brandy. You're absolutely so right. Hi, Lori. Yeah, you poop them out. That's right, Brandy. It's absolutely true. I take baby aspirin. Tylenol isn't good for the liver. Yeah, I don't take Tylenol either. I do take ibuprofen, but aspirin and ibuprofen are all now made by NSAID. Check that out. So you may be taking the same stuff in a different form, and they had to change their name. You don't really get aspirin like they used to make anymore. Yeah, Scratch. If you got family members with diabetes, you damn sure need to check. I need to check myself. I need to go back to the doctor and have some blood work done. But anyway, and honey, yes, green tea with as natural a honey as that you can get, and if you can get it with the comb, the gooey stuff we used to chew as kids, go for it. My friends, it's almost an hour. You all are wonderful people. Keep up the wonderful work that you're doing in your area. Keep having faith. For God's sakes, don't lose faith. Whatever your faith is, keep it. If you're working for the good side, keep that faith. Thumbs up and cheers. Keep your faith, for goodness sakes. And maybe you have to stand still for a short time in your spiritual whatever. Recently, there seems to be a lot of folks who are just kind of needed to just stop and and just look around for a minute. Just pause. Maybe it was an alligator fixing to cross the road. I don't know. But you all, folks, you are lovely beings, and I thank you so much for what you do and that you continue to do. This isn't about me, it's what we do as a collective. That's what's important to me. So thank you very much, Gerald, Michelle, Brandy, Ultraviolet, Ian, Scratch, Gerald, let's see, who else? And they're like, boy, you guys been busy, Ultraviolet, Ian, and I know not all of you are still here, but blessings, my friend, until next time. So I'll always end with a prayer, and I honestly do mean it. I pray that each and every day, ciao for now, Brian, Ian, as well. I pray that each and every day, each and every one of you, your friends, your family, and all of your relations will accept and receive the healings, the blessing, and the knowledge from the universe. I continue to pray that each and every day, you, your friends, your relatives, and all of your relations, and all that you may know and come to touch, will accept and receive the healings and the blessings and the knowledge from the universe. And the law of three, I say each and every day, I pray that each and every one of you, your friends, your family, and all of your relations, past, present, and to come, will accept, receive, and to share these blessings of the universe. So, my friends, cheers all. And until next time, stay safe, stay sweet. Sweet Pea, if you're out there, blessings to you as well, Lori. Thank you all for tuning in and keep up the good work. Till next time, I am your humble servant, Hawkeye Two Feathers, TTFN. Top for now from South Georgia. And we got rain in the area again. Holy crap. I can actually take a shower now without having to worry about whether or not my well goes dry. I love you all. I do. Till next time, see ya.